Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Ram. Shri Ram, Jai Ram. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram, Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. 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 Shri Ram,
이래, 그리고 저희 그냥 그리고 no, that's Shri Ram, they are comfortable, it's okay, no? If they are comfortable, it is okay. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Hari Om to everybody. What is to be shared?
January month vision, Swamiji.
January month vision. January month vision.
January month vision.
January time.
Yeah. As usual, the vision for the month of January starts with an editorial article. The first step on the divine path is bhakti, which means a keen, burning desire to realize immortal peace and freedom. The devotee must be seized with a discontent which never ceases until the goal is reached. By and large, the starting point in this direction is visiting temple where the deity is worshipped with faith and devotion. As years go by, the devotee is expected to see the divine element not only in the deity but also within oneself and then gradually in all. Otherwise, the all-pervading Lord will be unknowingly limited to the particular form of the Lord and the temple. This month's issue of the vision touches upon devotion to the form and transcending it. Lead article on temple worship by Beloved Papa. Man cannot conceive of God who is infinite and eternal. God is beyond name and form. The instrument which we have to make use of in trying to comprehend Him is the mind. And the mind can think of only in terms of name and form. So if we want to concentrate our mind on God, we have to give Him a name and a form. The image in the temple serves this purpose. When we stand before the image, we take it as the very embodiment of the divine, We sing before it of His glory, great glory, His attributes, His infinite glory and power, His eternal existence, knowledge and joy. The image by itself is only a mere idol made of metal, wood, or stone. But the consecratory ceremonies at the time of the installation of the idol invest it with divine powers. When thousands fix their faith upon that image, it naturally adds to the divine light and power generated therein. So temples have become places of worship for the masses in general who are not yet fit to turn inwards and find God within their own hearts in His true and eternal nature. Worship in temples by Puja Swamiji. Devotees are attached to deities whom they call as their Ishtadevata. They are drawn to these deities maybe because of the sadhana in their earlier life. But whatever deity we worship, actually we are worshipping the Supreme Being only. One deity is not different from the other. This must be kept in our mind. We find more followers in a particular temple because there they, by total and unqualified devotion and prayer, feel the living presence of their Ishtadevata. It is true that a good number of temple goers do not bother about philosophy or on the indwelling God. Some are satisfied with some sort of external worship, while some go there to pray for material prosperity or for peace of mind. At the same time, some do go with the total bhakti. There are different stages in one's progress towards the realization of the ultimate. When God wills that they should go to a higher level, He will bring about suitable situations by which they will become more introverted.
எல்லாத்துக்கும் காட்ஸ் வில் ஆனால் தான் இல்லையா? எல்லாமே காட்ஸ் வில் ஆனால் தான் அது வரைக்கும்.
The moment we hear all these things, it is better to look back to our own life. How we have found the concept. When we go to a temple, when we go to an ashram, when we meet a guru, there the Ishtadevata at the temple, how we were deriving some benefit, otherwise you would not be going. Tally with what has been expressed by Papa and Swamiji. We'll come back to it later. Question and answers. Usually, whenever we are in trouble, we remember the deity whom we worship and intensely pray to Him for relief. We then realize that this form of worship has not helped us go beyond the circle of me and mine. How can we transform such worship into one of a higher form? Answer. Right from our childhood, we have been tutored to approach God in the form of deities. In the initial stages, deity worship enables us to accept the truth that there is a higher power, and in our moments of crisis, we wholeheartedly pray for immediate relief. Proportionate to our faith, our prayers are answered. However, the limiting factor to this approach is that it makes us believe that God whom we pray to is outside, an entity other than ourselves. This brings about a sense of separation between us, God, and the rest of the manifestation, leading to the dominance of me and mine. This brings about a sense of separation between us, God, and the rest of the manifestation, leading to the dominance of me and mine. At some point in life, God mysteriously brings us in touch with the spiritual preceptors or scriptures to make us aware that He is not merely in deities, but He is also the indwelling and all pervading reality. Slowly the truth dawns that God stands for the subtle and mysterious power expressing in the form of life force, awareness, intelligence, creativity, love, compassion, and the like. As these are abstract ideas, it is difficult to offer worship to these attributes of the divine. Therefore, offering worship to the deities with the bhavana that they symbolize all these facets sets in motion the process of transformation of worship from the form to the formless. In this context, a shloka from the Bhagavad Gita throws some more light. The Lord says, Yachavi sarvabhudanam bijam tadaham arjuna na tadasti vina yasyad maya bhudham characharam. I am the generating seed of all living beings. O Arjuna, no creature, moving or non-moving, can exist without me. Only when we try to understand that all of us have come from Him and that He is the source of all creations, we will realize that He is not only in temples but is also in all creations, including us. A stage then comes where the outer worship goes on, and simultaneously an effort is also made to know Him as the indwelling reality. Idol worship has its relevance and needs to be given its due importance because its essence helps us to gradually transform English, Tamil, and Kannada. Thought for the month. In image worship, we superimpose on the image the Atman in us, that is Avahana. When the worship is over, the superimposed Atman is withdrawn from the image. This is Visarjana. In this way, we come to know that we worship our own Atman in the form of the image. In the end, we get the vision of the Atman, says the Lord Papa. So there were a few articles, one anecdote, a few words from Papa's letters, something about ashram activities. So what is it that strikes to us, that has touched us, while hearing this?
சுவாமிஜி வீட்லயே விக்கிரகம் வச்சு நான் வணங்கிக்கிட்டு இருக்கிறேன். ஒரு தமிழ் தமிழ் புரியுங்களா?
சொல்லுங்க.
வீட்லயே பூஜை 1 hour வரைக்கும் நான் மந்திர உபதேசம் பண்றேன். பட் இருந்தாலும் நம்ம ஃப்ரெண்ட்ஷிப்பா நம்ம சுவாமி கிட்ட நம்மளுடைய ரெக்டிஃபிகேஷன்ஸ் ஜாய்ஸ் அதெல்லாம் நம்ம ஷேர் பண்ணிக்கிற மாதிரி தான் எனக்கு சில இடத்துல தாட்ஸ் வருது. அது பெட்டரா எப்படி ஹவு டு ஈஸியா பக்தியா எப்படி?
கண்டிப்பா. பாப்பா என்ன சொல்லுவாருன்னா,
in English.
Okay. Translate English. No? I observe it.
he was asking, whenever, along with whatever activities we are going on, whenever we have any problems, we used to pray to him, whether that is okay. Papa used to say that in our sadhana, it will be better if we develop a dialogue with him, almost on a daily basis.
அவர் கூட பேசுறோம்.
பேசுறேன்.
Daily dialogue. There are two tangible gains, One is that we unknowingly we believe, or knowingly we believe that he is within. Otherwise, how can we have a dialogue? The second thing, the closeness develops. We are slowly trying to recognize that there is a power within to whom we can place all our problems. First stage. So it is always during Papa's itinerant days, especially you will find when you go through In Quest of God, mostly there will be a inter-dialogue with him. That is why when we made a rough count, more than 400 times he brings the mention of Ram in that book. He addresses him. That means, along with the sadhana, even after scaling the heights, Papa was enjoying the close companionship with him. And later on in the outpourings, which is the last portion of In Quest of God, it is purely a dialogue with him. Absolutely. And when you go to the next book called At the Feet of God, it's also a dialogue with him. So as sadhakas, it would be better if we develop the habit of having a direct contact with him in the form of a dialogue. We try to communicate so many things to him. Let us set apart 5 minutes or 10 minutes every day and place everything, because he knows, he doesn't need any formality. We don't have to go for any articles. He's already there, So the more, every day when we keep on trying to chant with him, the feeling that he is within, that becomes more and more rooted and established. Because ultimately what is spiritual summit? Spiritual summit is to know that he is within and he is behind our thoughts, words and deeds. So we want constant remembrance of him. So constant remembrance can be had through so many methods, but Papa recommends chanting of his name and having this dialogue with him. Name is to remember. Remembrance is to connect ourselves with him. And the ultimate result will be, we will be expanding ourselves. Because the same Lord is seated in everybody. So the moment we try to connect ourselves with him, we are trying to connect ourselves with the all-pervading reality. Though initially we say that indwelling reality, then finally we know he is the all-pervading reality. So from the limited to the unlimited, from the finite to the infinite, all these things we have been told will happen as time passes on. So it is always better to have a dialogue. Coming back to this month's vision, what was the theme?
Temple worship. Temple worship. Idol worship.
Sing.
But from form,
From form to formless.
yeah, to form, you start your journey, starting the journey from form,
From
worshipping
form
the
to formless.
and eventually graduating to connecting with the formless.
Again, if anybody remembers anything from Papa's notes.
Dwarkadas.
Nothing is
Thunder.
relevant.
Theme.
Theme. Nothing is relevant. Nothing.
You must
No
see him
important.
in everybody.
Form to the formless. Okay, then anything else on the theme?
Nothing is irrelevant.
Nothing is irrelevant.
Nothing is irrelevant.
I think no one.
The first lead article of Papa says about temple worship, deity worship. So that will give us, throw more light. When we hear in a satsang, it will be better if we concentrate upon that. One word, we may not remember the whole text, but one word will definitely enable us to unfold so many things. Otherwise, it just goes. So many things we hear. It doesn't leave any deep impress. So here he talks about on temple worship. And the most important thing he says is, temples have become places of worship for the masses in general who are not yet fit to turn inwards and find God within their own hearts in His true and eternal nature. Because right from our childhood, we have no idea about anything. So when parents say, when our elders say that we have a puja room, we will have some image, and we find our parents, worshipping it, And when we go to the nearest temple on festival, on birthdays, on important days, on festival days, so slowly we develop a connection between us and the deity. Elders also say us their anubhava, experiences. Slowly the bhakti enables us to develop something on God thought. But the problem comes to us is,
It's always outside.
at that time we don't know. But when we try to meet a spiritual preceptor, or inwardly also we may find, I am going to temple, I am doing all these things, but there is no, I pray, but still I carry on with my own problem. So then we try to see clarity about the word God, something about the deity, something about the worship, and then slowly, when God makes us to get in touch with the spiritual preceptor, he slowly unfolds and says that God is within all of us. And beautifully, Papa says, man cannot conceive of God who is infinite and eternal. Infinite and eternal is a word, abstract word. Finite we can definitely understand. Limited. 1 liter of water will be there. So, so many of measurement, you can limit. We know something about it. But unlimited, that which is not limited, we take it as unlimited. The end of the sky. So unlimited, how can we conceive? And eternal. We ourselves are not eternal. We are born, we live, we die. So how can we conceive of the eternal? And the instrument which we have to make use of trying to comprehend him is the mind. And the mind can think only in terms of name and form. Nameless, formless, only we can say that, no? So if we want to concentrate our mind on God, we have to give him a name and form. The image in the temple serves this purpose. When we stand before the image, we take it as the very embodiment of the divine. Initially we may not. We will see them as an entity there. We sing before it of his great attributes, his infinite glory and power, his eternal existence, knowledge and joy. So that is, according to Papa, temple visit. Temple worship has come into existence. Because there must have been some days, we don't know how far it is right, but we were told in the Upanishadic period, this was revealed to us by our great seers after plumbing deep within themselves. They were free from, they retired themselves from the usual activities and then plunged deep into it, and their revelations came out in the form of Upanishads. But a stage came when the intensity of the concentration on the abstract became less and less. So they wanted some medium also, a prop, to get into this. And probably that is why the image worship got started. This is one version. Anyway, whatever is said and heard, we can say that temple worship is there, it has come to stay. And it has helped a lot, including us. But as spiritual children of Papa, we now realize that we were not aware that the God we pray to is within us, we were only seeing him as separate from us. But when we go through Srimad Bhagavad Gita, go through our scriptures, Upanishads, we find every time it says, even the great four Mahavakyas, Prajnanam Brahma, consciousness is Brahman, Ayamatma Brahma, it is also Brahman. Tattvamasi, you are Brahman. Aham Brahmasmi, I am Brahman. No? So all these things are nice to hear, nice to reproduce. But to experience it is, we need something else. So then the idol worship, image worship came into being. But somehow we lost contact with the fundamentals and got stuck there. We also hear so many experiences of bhaktas, devotees, who had many experiences, whose problems were solved the moment when they go and pray. So it all adds to our faith in the deity. And at the same time, we worship the Bhaktotamas, the greatest bhaktas like Mirabai, Tukaram, Namdev. In every region in India, you will find such Bhaktotamas. In Kerala, there are umpteen number of Bhaktotamas. But we did not go and analyze their bhakti and our bhakti. To them, the Lord, the embodied Lord, was with them for 24/7. In our case, when we go to the puja room, when we see an image, when we go to a temple, God thought, say, it will be there for some time. Otherwise, only we are there. So to them, the form had served the fullest purpose of dwelling in constant remembrance. But we don't try to probe deep or pray for such a bhakti, becoming one with him. Yeah, that is the right word. They have become one with the deity. And though there is no another for them. So then we learn that also is a method. Not that we are belittling. But now when we look at ourselves, our bhakti is only for a very short time. When we go to a temple, even there, if we closely analyze, it may not be that right from our entering into the temple and standing in the queue, what all our mind says, is it concentrating on the deity or on something else? And the moment we are before the deity, sanctum sanctorum, no doubt we all get an inexplicable joy. Maybe for a second or two. Because after that the people will say, move, move. And then we come back. And then what happens? We leave the deity there and come out. Unknowingly. We don't carry him in our heart. And so to have his darshan again, we go there, no? So he is not with us throughout. Whereas in the case of the Bhaktotamas, it was 24/7. That is why Papa gives us a synthetic yoga here. Where we try to keep up his remembrance, whether in the temple or outside the temple, always, not thinking only about the abstract ideas. That's why he defines the spiritual path. Most of you had many times you have heard this. Bhakti is the root, Vairagya is the trunk, Jnana is the flower, Parabhakti is the fruit. So, from the root, when we go to the fruit, It is bhakti to parabhakti. Parabhakti means seeing him everywhere, in all. It starts with a limited form of bhakti, and then if it expands to all-pervading bhakti. So bhakti is the root, vairagya is the trunk, jnana is the flower, parabhakti is the fruit. So coming back again to the vision, Puja Swamiji says, it is true that a good number of temple goers do not bother about philosophy or on the indwelling God. Some are satisfied with some sort of external worship, while some go there to pray for material prosperity or for peace of mind. At the same time, some do go with total bhakti. There are different stages in one's progress toward the realization of the ultimate. When God wills that they should go to a higher level, He will bring about suitable situations by which they will become more introverted. Then the question answer. The present type of bhakti which we are now following somehow unknowingly changes us in the me and mine only. Because we go there, as soon as in Indian, especially in Indian temples must be there. Here if you go to the nearest temple, you will see a board there first. What are the types of worship that are offered and what is the fees? So all these things are external, extroverted, external, extroverted. When we were thinking about it, suppose all these things are not there. Suppose they say you pray here, he is within you. No, none of us will be able to feel satisfied. In the midst of so many activities, we rush up to the temple on an important day. And when we see the board, we also give them something, this puja or that puja, you do it. And when the pujari gives us prasad, the bond between us and the deity is formed. And there is a joy. Again, we are tempted to go there. So, through the material benefits he has given, he is attracting us first to him. And later on, we should transcend, that's all. We don't have to condemn that. Kamya, in Bhagavad Gita also, there are 4 types of bhaktas are there. Artha, Artharthi, Jijnasu, and Jnani.
Papa himself was traveling. Papa himself was traveling to so many places of pilgrimage. And going into the temple.
But when Papa went to the temple, in say Rameshwaram, Madurai, Puri, Bhavatarini temple in Calcutta, everywhere Papa was able to connect with the indwelling reality also. It reminded. So that gives us a feeling that when we go to a temple, if that is also simultaneously developed, you are nameless and formless, for me you have also come in this name and form. This was made clear to us when we had a discussion with a Tantri, who does the consecration ceremony. He explained to us at the time of Prana Pratishtha. It's all right. Put it. Anachala. Okay.
Current watching.
See, it's come there.
At the time of Prana Pratishtha, he says, if we have understood properly, he goes inside, the door will be shut. He will be, after pouring sanctified tirtham, water, on the vigraha, he will sit and then he will start thinking like this. It is not thinking, deep contemplation. You are the all-pervading reality, nameless, formless reality, and you have brought us into existence. At the same time, knowing that all of us cannot dwell on the nameless, formless principle, you also chose to prompt us to have a form to which we had developed some affinity, some attachment. And now we all pray from the bottom of the heart. Though you are all-pervading, nameless, formless, you also try to superimpose yourself on this limited vigraha, so that your presence is touched, kindled, and made known to us, not only to us, to innumerable devotees for centuries to come. And the Tantri was telling that when he contemplates on these lines, he must get an intuitive feeling that the reality which is in him, in the form of life force, that is why it is called prana pradishta, is superimposed. He gets an intuitive feeling, yes, it has come. Until such time, he will not open the door. So we were asking him, how will we know that he got it? So he said, the moment he opens the door and comes out, you can see on his face. That will be reflected. Because that intuitive experience will be reflected on his face. And we were able to witness one such pradishta, where as soon as it was done and when he came out, it was like the face was like a sun, glowing. Glowing at the same time, serene, peaceful. Step by step, when he was coming out, we could feel that. Then immediately the organizers rushed up there and gave him a dakshina and prostrated. He did not even look at the plate. He passed on to somebody and it went back to the temple only. And then he went and sat for some time. He was not at all disturbed at all. So he was reveling in that mode. After more than 25 years now, when we recently went to Wayanad and went back to the temple last year, how it has grown now. It is in a place where there are tea estate workers. They may not talk philosophy, they may not know anything about all these philosophies, but simple faith. And the temple has become a center for their all cultural, spiritual activities, devotional activities. And during this Ayyappa period, 41 days, though 90% of the people there of this faith, they will go there and they will stay there. They will not go to their coolie lanes. Go early in the morning, and 5 o'clock they will have a dip in the nearby river in cold water and come there, prepare something. They will have Ayyappa Nama for more than 1 hour, and then after prayer they will cook, and then they go to the estate work, come back, again have their bath, again continue with devotional practices, cook, eat. Something very, very, very inspiring for us to see that. That simple faith, how the deity, how their devotion is centered on the deity, and then how the deity keeps on inspiring them to live up to a devotional life, a life dedicated to God. Always, they will be, we can see it on their face. So, we don't belittle the importance of temples. We don't belittle the importance of what is going on in the temple. But a right relationship should be maintained. That is the only thing Papa cautions us. Because in Bhagavad Gita, when we read, all these things are coming. This Kshetratna Yoga, everything is come. So what is a temple and who is the knower of the temple? Who is the deity of the temple? Everything he explains there. And in this sloka, I am the generating seed of all living beings. No creature moving or non-moving can exist without me. This helps us to, oh, he is there within me. So what I am seeing is also him. But at the same time, I should not stop there. I must also see him within me. Then our whole perspective in life changes. When we deal with anybody else, we know they are all the moving temples, When Papa said, when somebody asked in this ashram why there is no idol, he said all are moving temples. Where the Lord Rama is there. Atma Ram is there in the form of subtle and mysterious force, mysterious power. That stage we should reach, Retaining our worship, devotion toward the deity, we should also simultaneously try. Otherwise, what happens? Just like the Dwarkadas, he said, worshipping brass images and conceiving hatred for man is not devotion. And Vanamali says, the anecdote of how a person, immediately he was also planning for a pilgrimage to various temples. Yeah. Immediately stopped. And he has written a book on temples. So very much attached to this temple worship. At the same time, the moment he came to know that his colleague needs some, without asking, voluntarily when offered. And Banamali says, when that's a beautiful portion, Uddhava's dialogue. I am there where my names are sung. My temples are the hearts of my devotees. It's called as Vasudevan, who is residing in everybody's heart. So this will, when we hear all these things, the tangible gain will be when we deal with others, unknowingly or knowingly, when we wound or hurt anybody, immediately we will realize, ayyo. Because when Papa, Mataji said, we did not realize. Mataji used to say, when you are hurting anybody, you are hurting Papa. We did not understand that. Because to us, Papa was only this form, But what she meant was the indwelling reality. When you are hurting others, you are hurting Papa. When you find fault with others, you are finding fault with Papa. So then, slowly this will enable us. I should be careful. Every thought, every word, every deed that come out from me should not be detrimental to the interest of anybody. So my temples are in the hearts of my devotees. Therefore, go where my devotees congregate. Wherever you hear my name chanted, my story is recited, there will also I be. Therefore, seek me among my devotees, for through them I will ever manifest myself in this world. Anything else? We are talking about the two important days of the luminaries. Swami Vivekananda is tomorrow. Because why he is a patriot among saints, and saint among the patriots. That touching word. Tomorrow I will locate and read it out. Very touching. Tomorrow is the day, yeah. A particular message. Though he has scaled the heights, identified himself totally with the all-pervading reality, still, as a person from this great land, nationalism is not opposed to universalism. Because first nationalism, then universalism. Nationalism not limited to any particular thing. This nationalism, this Sanatana Dharma, it always stands for expansion. So we salute before the Sanatana Dharma first. And then embrace the whole Dharma. That has been beautifully brought out, though not directly, indirectly, in a beautiful message. So we remember him. And this Omkar is Maharaj, Shanti Ashram. The moment you enter the Samadhi, it is there. It is right. Swami is dead. Omkar is alive in your heart. Every day when we go to the Samadhi, you are reminded of this. We were told, when we went through the biographies, we were told that he did not name himself as Omkar. He was only chanting Omkar. Om, 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 Om. People named him as Omkara Swami in Himalayas. And he established that ashram in 1917. 14 years later only Anand Ashram was set up. There is a close bonding between Shanti Ashram and every day we are reciting the peace prayer. It is all drafted by Swamiji Maharaj. So this particular word, Swami is dead, Omkar is alive in your heart. So through these words it is conveyed, Omkar stands for the base, the substratum, the prop, the support, which is eternal. Bodies come and go, but Omkar is always there. So these are all some of the things today Papa wanted us to dwell upon. Let us try to do some plumbing, otherwise it will go. Our right relationship with the deity inside, with the deity outside, how devotion should help us to expand from limited to the unlimited. These are all the points Papa wanted us to dwell upon today. Hari Om. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. 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 Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram, Jai